bookish friends, welcome to another video. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I haven't filmed for a while. I've just been crazy busy. I got a promotion at work and things have just been a bit crazy, but we're here today to do my monthly wrap up for March. I'm going to go through all of the books that I managed to get through, even though it has been a crazy busy month. I've also had to combine my April TBR into this video because I filmed a TBR video and edited but didn't really listen, so it's my fault. Lesson learned. And just as I was getting ready to kind of post and upload, I did listen, and then I realised that you could hear lots and lots of stuff in the background. You could hear my husband having conversations. So yeah, it just didn't work. So I am just gonna go over the books that I did actually pick for my TBR for April. I'll go through those at the end. So without further ado, let's get into the books. This is my new favourite drink. I just discovered it. Lucozade Alert. It is mango and peachade. Okay, so March. I'm going to give you some stats to start off with. In total, I read 17 books. Yes, 17 books in March, and that was a total of 5,634 pages. So even though it was a busy month, I still did quite well. I'm just going to put my little stat box up here again so that you can kind of see. So breaking that down, I read 6 ebooks, 4 audiobooks, and then 7 physical books. Category wise, which you can kind of see here, I read 6 romance books. One of those was a YA romance. I read 3 thriller books, 6 fantasy books, and they're kind of a different subgenres of fantasy, but I've just kind of put them all together. So 6 fantasy books, 1 middle grade book, and 1 memoir. So I think to begin with, we're going to do our ebooks, the ebooks that we went through in March, and I'm going to pop them up here on the screen. You'll see them. I read a lot in February. I think I read 18 books, and right at the start of March I just kind of felt a little bit slumpy. I just wasn't overly keen on picking up books. I was just like, I'll give myself a couple of days off, you know. But when I did decide to finally pick one up, I picked up the first book in, I know you've probably seen this flying around everywhere. It's an Amazon original mini series, and it's the Improbable Meet Cute series. So there were 6 of them. They're all short stories. I read all 6 in the month of March, and I have just counted them as one book. Some of them were only 40 pages. I think the longest one was about 100 pages. So I've just kind of combined them all together, and I'm counting it as one book. But I started off the month with the first one, which was Exception to the Rule. And this was by Christina Lauren. I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, it's a short story, not that long, so it's not like I'm going to be able to rate anything 5 stars. But I did really enjoy the concept of this story. Then I read a different ebook, which was Starting Over at Acorn Cottage. That's by Kate Forster. I think that's how you say it. I gave this 5 stars. My first full-length book of the month. Absolutely loved it. we followed our main female character. She has been cheated on by her boyfriend with her best friend. Her whole life is in uproar. She's quit her job at the bank. She's bought a cottage in the middle of the countryside somewhere without even seeing it. And off she goes. And she moves to this quiet little village where there's not a lot going on, to start her life over. In comes single dad with his little daughter. They travel around a lot. He's kind of like he works construction, handyman, odd jobs, anything he can kind of do to make money, I suppose. Mostly stuff with roofs. And he comes into the village. He helps her with the cottage, and we go from there. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the characters. Some really emotional stuff in this book, and I was giggling. I was completely sobbing in parts. Absolutely loved it. 5 stars. Then I decided to read the rest of the Improbable Meet Cute series. So I then did the second one, which was Worst Wingman Ever. I also gave that one 4 stars. That one is by Abby Jimenez. That one is probably my favourite one out of all of them. Then I read Rosie and the Dreamboat, which I also gave 4 stars. That one is by Sally Thorne. I think that's actually up there as well. I giggled so much in that one. It was just so much fun. Then I read Drop, Cover and Hold On, which was the 4th book. I gave that one 3 stars. That was my least favourite. Didn't enjoy that as much. And that one was by Jasmine Guillory. Then I read number 5, which was With Any Luck. This one was by Ashley Poston, I'm not sure how you say that. I also gave that one 3 stars. Didn't really enjoy that one as much either. And then the last one, which was Royal Valentine by Soraya Wilson, I gave that one 4 stars as well. You've probably heard everybody talk about... sorry about that banging. You've probably heard everybody talk about what these are about, so I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to be here all night. Then I read, the next ebook I read was the first book in a series. This one is called Accidental Magic, and it is by Iris Beaglehole. Great name, fantastic. I gave that one 3.5 stars. I did enjoy it, and I am intrigued enough to continue the series. We have a mother and daughter combo. Daughter's a teenager. They are witches. They don't fully know that they are witches. They come back to the village where the mum's grandmother lived and where the mum kind of grew up. The grandmother has sadly passed away. They come into town. Things start happening. Crazy. Really good read. Excited to see what happens in the rest of the series. Then I read No Exit by Taylor Adams. This was my first Taylor Adams book. I'd started this, I think, back in February, and I just was like, ugh. I had other things that I was more interested in reading, and I think at that point I'd probably only got to about the nearly 20% mark. But then I was like, no, come on, pick this back up. Let's get this done. And oh my God, it was phenomenal. It was like being in an episode of Criminal Minds. And it was gripping. It was fast paced. There were so many good twists. And it just kept me on the edge of my seat. And I just absolutely loved it. And I gave it 5 stars. 5 stars. Absolutely fantastic. I'm intrigued to read more of Taylor Adams and see if it was just a one-off kind of thing or whether the rest of his books are also going to be 5-star reads. I'm interested to see that. Then the next ebook that I read was Hopeful Hearts at the Cornish Cove. This one is by Kim Nash. Great little, quick, fast-paced read. Really kind of, you know, one of those palate cleansers. Cute little romance. Lady starting over. One thing I did really like about this our main female character, is she was actually 50. And it's not often that you read these kind of, you know, when you read these women starting over, a lot of them are sort of, you know, in their late 20s, early 30s. This woman was in her 50s, and I just liked that. I loved it. I thought, go you. So I did really enjoy that one. I gave it 3.5 stars. And I think that is also the first one in a little interconnected standalone kind of series. So I'm interested to read more from Kim Nash. I think I have read one of hers before a few years ago, which I also enjoyed. So yeah, definitely going to be reading more from Kim. And then the last ebook that I read was The Faking Game by Portia McIntosh. I gave this one 3 stars. Again, it was cute. Wasn't too long. The characters were okay. The story was okay. And it had a happy ending. It was just a nice little filler book, little palette cleanser, as we say. So yeah, that's all of the ebooks that I managed to read in March. Now let's head on to the audiobooks that I got through. So the first audiobook that I listened to for the month was Didn't See That Coming. So this was a YA romance, and it's by Jessie Q Sutanto. I've got a bit of paper down here that I have to keep looking at, because otherwise I forget who wrote it, I forget what I rated it. So, you know, this is why I keep kind of looking down. Anyway, Didn't See That Coming. This was kind of the whole element of this story was gaming. So she is a gamer, our main character, she was a gamer, and she's had to pretend to be a guy on this online gaming thing that she does. She's made a friend on there. She's been friends with this guy for about a year. He thinks she's a guy. Obviously she's not. And it's set in Indonesia. She gets moved. Her parents move her to a private school, and things just go completely AWOL in this private school. She is really quite severely bullied, and there's this really big kind of, and I'm presuming maybe this is an issue in those kind of countries still, but where, you know, it's all about the boys. The girls are the lesser, you know, and parts of this book, just the whole attitude of some of the teachers and the other students, it was just infuriating. But I did enjoy it, and I gave it 4 stars. So then I moved on to Namesake, which is the second book in the World of the Narrows trilogy by Adrian Young. I listened to Fable last month, and I really enjoyed it. This was the second one, and I gave this one 5 stars. Absolutely fantastic. I loved every single minute of it. I wanted to be fully immersed in that world. I wanted to be in the Narrows. I wanted to be on the boat, the Marigold. I wanted Fable to be my new best friend. So yeah, that was a really good one. It's obviously a maritime fantasy. It's all set at sea, and it's just phenomenal. Absolutely love it. I would highly recommend. So I then also wanted to finish off that trilogy, and I listened to The Last Legacy, which rounds that up. That one actually doesn't have anything to do with the characters we meet in the first book. It is about one of the characters we meet in the second book. It's his story. And I really enjoyed that one too, even though it wasn't anything to do with Fable. I still loved it, really enjoyed it, and I gave that one 4 stars. So I'm very happy that I have now completed that little trilogy in the World of the Narrows, but now I just want to binge everything that Adrian Young has written. So that's where I'm at. And then the last audiobook that I did for the month of March was the next book in the Rivers of London series by Ben Aronovich. I'm really enjoying this series. This was book number 5 and it's Foxglove Summer. I gave this one 4 stars. Not as good as the last one I read. The last one I read was probably one of my favourites. But this one was equally as good. It's just so witty, fantastic, like British kind of humour in the background. I love the descriptions, the magical element to it. It's an urban fantasy, and I would highly recommend. And as an audiobook, I would really recommend it because the voice actor is phenomenal. So yeah, that's all of the audiobooks. Now we're going to move on to the physical books that I managed to get through in the month of March. So to begin with, I managed Feather and Flame, and this is by Olivia Blackburn. So this is the second book in the Queen's Counsel series. And this one we follow Mulan. So this is supposed to be everything that you've seen in the movies. We're now picking up after that. This is everything that happens after the movies. And it took me a little bit to get into, but I loved it. I ended up loving it. Basically, the Emperor is dead. He dies very early on in the book, and that's not a spoiler, it says it down here. And now Mulan has to lead China as the new empress, and it's phenomenal. I would definitely highly recommend. I gave this one 4 stars. So, and that was off of my TBR pick that I picked back in February for March. Then I read another Portia McIntosh book. This one is Your Place or Mine. Again, this was not too long. It was okay. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the characters. I gave this one a 3 stars. Nice, easy reads. Can't go wrong. It's obviously false proximity, I should say. Both of them end up kind of pretty much, they end up homeless, like they're in between places to live, and each of them are friends with this husband and wife. The husband and wife are doing up their house. They decide they want to go travelling, and then in come our main male and female characters. She is obviously friends with the wife. The wife has gone, yep, you can stay in our house because we're going travelling. The husband has then spoken to his friend, oh, you can stay in our house because we're going travelling. And then, so they have to stay together. And that's where it ends up. But it was quite funny in places. And yeah, it was okay. It was a good, quick read, 3 stars. Then I read Tom Felton, Beyond the Wand. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. Grew up on, Harry Potter, love the books, love the films. This was fantastic. It was so heartwarming. It was so nice to hear like little tidbits from, filming and behind the scenes. And it was just really real and it was really raw. And I just wish that him and Emma would just get together because I just love them. Obviously I did not rate this because it's a memoir. This is someone's life. I have no business rating someone recounting the story of their life. So, but I would highly recommend it if you are a Harry Potter fan. Then I actually did a vlog. I did my first ever vlog, which I'm actually going to put up next week probably. Or end of the week, whatever. And I'm not going to give you my ratings for these because I will you'll see it in the vlog basically. But I managed 3 books in that vlog, and that is Kingdom of the Feared by Kerry Maniscalco, The Serial Killer's Sister by Alice Hunter, and then Ghost Rescue by Jenny McLaughlin. So I'd read those 3, and then the last one that I read from my TBR for this month is Confessions of a Murder Suspect by James Patterson. This is the first in a series. I think there's 4 in total. I have 3 of them. And it was okay. It was okay. Like, it wasn't... I'm very fast-paced, really interesting story, as always, with James Patterson. It's actually James Patterson and Maxine Petro, I think that's how you say her name. It was all right. I gave it 3 stars. And yeah, that was all of the books that I managed to get to in the month of March. So, as I said at the beginning of this clip, I did my April TBR video. It didn't work. So I did pick 8 books for the month from my little TBR jar. So I'm just going to show you what they are. So we picked out Revenge by James Patterson. Oh, this is not going to come out now. Okay, we move that one. The Whistling by Rebecca Netley. We have Ali McNamara, Cornish Clouds and Silver Lining Skies. We then got Case Sensitive by A.K. Turner. We got The Bookshop on the Shore by Jenny Colgan. We got The Shadow Friend by Alex North. And the last 2, if I can get them out, is The Boys from Biloxi by John Grisham and The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. So I think that's a nice little mixed bag for the month of April. I am obviously probably going to do some other videos. I've got some other vlog ideas and stuff, so I'm probably going to do those. So I'm interested to see if I can stick to this. As I said, for March, I only actually read 4 out of the 8 that I picked. It was very much a mood read kind of month for me. And where I was so busy, I did do more reading on my phone of the ebooks and obviously the audiobooks when I was out and about. But yeah, that's everything from me. That's the books I read for March, the 8 books that I picked for April, but no doubt there'll probably be more. Thank you if you've made it this far. Like and subscribe. As you know, I would be very grateful. I'm enjoying being here. I like that you're here with me. And if you have made it this far, leave me a nice little flower emoji in the comments for spring, and let me know what you're planning on reading for the month of April. What are your most anticipated reads? All that jazz. That's it. I'm gonna sign off now, and I will see you in whatever comes next.